Hey guys, welcome to an academy. So this is the daily analysis of the Hindu for today, that is 8th of February 2017, and will be presented to you by me, Dipanshu Singh. So if you wish to read more about me, you can go through this slide. You can also follow me on an academy by clicking on this link, and please rate and review the course. That will help us understand how this course is progressing and whether you're liking the course or not, and recommend each and every video. So the practice question to today is: which country will host the 4th BIMS Tech Summit 2017? These are your options, and the answer for yesterday's question is Telangana. The Kakatiya Social Innovation Center will be set up over there, and the purpose of Social Innovation Hub and the purpose of the hub is to create a model for promoting entrepreneurs in rural and semi-urban areas in the country, and this incubator will be run through the Kakatiya sandbox. Now, the front page news is that the Supreme Court has dismissed Tamil Nadu's review plea on remission power. So, the Supreme Court in 2015 constitutional bench judgment held that a state government has no suo motu power, that they cannot do it by their own will to remit sentences of persons convicted under a central law, and the cases specifically which are investigated by a central agency like a CBI. So, therefore, the Supreme Court dismissed the review plea on that judgment, and it was based on the challenge to the center challenged by the center to Tamil Nadu's move to remit the life sentence of 7 convicts in the Rajiv Gandhi's assassination case. So the court also said that in section 435 subclause 2 of the Criminal Procedure Code, the word consultation meant concurrence, and this meant that the Tamil Nadu government should have got the prior consent of the central government. So they required, and they had to take the prior consent of the central government before going for this notification in order to remit the life sentence of 7 convicts in the Rajiv Gandhi case. Apart from the remission power, the president and the governor, the union or the state government can also suspend, remit or commute a sentence of a death exercisable by the governor of a state under any law for the time being in force. So, while going through this news, you should also be aware of the pardoning power and the various powers of the governor and the president on remit and commuting a sentence, which can come up in prelims examination. The next news is that the Citizens Forum will take up whistleblowers' complaints. So this is basically after the Whistleblowers Protection Act 2011, which was passed in both of the House of the Parliament. It has still waiting to receive the President assent. So, disappointed by the government's track record in implementing anti-corruption measures, a group of eminent citizens have actually decided to take the initiative of setting up a forum to hear complaints of corruption or malfeasance from the whistleblowers. It is called as the Citizens Whistleblower Forum. It would act as a unique, credible platform to provide much needed confidence to whistleblowers, and this will actually work after listening to these to the whistleblowers and to listening to the citizens' complaints. It will scrutinize the information received. It would decide on a course of action, which will include taking up the matter with the authorities concerned, and also filing a PIL if it is required in the public interest. Now, the next news is that the Nirbhaya Fund lies unused. This was told by the senior advocate Indra Jaisingh, informed the Supreme Court. According to her, the government had also announced, the Nirbhaya Fund, which was announced in 2013, to accelerate the programs for women's safety, has not been utilized properly. And in April 2015, the government made the Women and Child Development Ministry the nodal agency from the Home Ministry, actually, which utilized only 1% of the funds. And this Women's Ministry has envisaged installing panic button in cell phones, setting up CCTV cameras and GPS tracking in public transport, and employing women conductors, among other measures. But most of them actually remain still on paper. And under the Nirbhaya Fund, only two funds have actually taken off, including the Universal's Women's Helpline and the One Stop Crisis Center. So the funds were initiated, which were executed only for these two plans. But then it should be noted that when this was announced, this One-Stop Crisis Center was announced, the Women's and Child Development Ministry wanted the center to be present in every district, but then even for that, only one center in every state was formed, and the committee report noted that there are only 8 operational centers. So Nirbhaya Fund is not being utilized properly as how it was originally envisaged. Now, India will frame policy on synthetic biology. So, India is taking some first steps to evolve a policy on synthetic biology, which is an emerging science through which new life forms can potentially be made in labs and existing life forms, and such as bacteria and other microbes. Now, a group of experts have been convened to assess the synthetic biology work pursued in Indian labs, and it will actually lead to a tailor-made production of microorganisms. Now, synthetic biology is in microbial systems holds promise for production of drugs, vaccines, fuel components, and other chemicals. A popular example of this is the production of the artemisinin, a powerful anti-malarial drug in yeast at a commercial level. Now, this news can be important for prelims, so do keep a watch on that. Maybe there can be a future developments on this news. But as an example, synthetic biology is an emerging field, which there's an ongoing research on that, so it can be a potential question for UPSC prelims. Now, international news. So, Beijing has said that it has no military plans in Hambantota port of Sri Lanka. Very important for prelims point of view, international relations of GS2 paper. So, China's state-run global tabloid Global Times has actually accused India of needlessly raising concerns about military activity in Hambantota, which is a very strategically important port in Sri Lanka that is being developed by China. So, Hambantota and the nearby airfield is being developed by China. Apart from if you look at this image, the red ones are the Chinese-built ports, and the projects, and the blue one are the Indian-made projects, the A9 highway and the other one in Jaffna. In fact, if you look at the Trincomalee, there were talks between India and Sri Lanka to develop this part of Trincomalee and actually give this port to India for its operations. And if you look at Hambantota port, it's located very strategically, and it is in line with the China's Maritime Silk Route initiative. So China obviously will the goods will pass through Shanghai and other ports of China, docking at Hambantota, and then obviously going to Gwadar port as part of a connectivity of the CPEC. So apart from that, if you look at this map, there's all these all areas. These marked areas are also the Indian Navy's listening point. So there can be a potential question from this. So apart from that, China has also maintained that it has economic rather than military objectives for this port, but it was docking of Chinese submarine in 2014, which you also reported earlier in our Hindu summary, that alerted India, and recently their submarine also docked at Karachi's port. So deeming the Hambantota port and nearby airports also, which was built during President Rajapaksa's time, as white elephants. So this is referred as white elephants. The current government, which is led by President Maithripala Sirisena and Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe, have actually decided to sell 80% of the stake of the port to a Chinese company to cut the country's debt burden. Now, the next is business page news. So, India's economy could actually pip and go ahead US on purchasing power parity by 2040. So, this is as per PricewaterhouseCoopers report. So, according to them, E7 economies, which comprise Brazil, China, India, Indonesia, Mexico, Russia, and Turkey, can actually grow at an average rate of almost 3.45% over the next 34 years, compared to just 1.6% for the advanced G7 nations of Canada, France, Germany, Italy, Japan, the UK, and the US. And the PricewaterhouseCoopers also opines that it has a view that Vietnam, India, and Bangladesh would be the three of the world's fastest growing economies over this period. Now, Japan, after Donald Trump's move, is actually planning to ease permanent visa norms to draw global talent. So, in a bid to attract global talent from India and other nations, Japan has said that it will soon introduce a new green card program, which is called as Japanese Green Card for Highly Skilled Foreign Professional, which will substantially reduce the period of stay required before, earlier from 5 years to just 1 year. And this is being worked by Japan External Trade Organization, the JETRO, which is a Japanese government-related organization working to promote trade and investment between Japan and the rest of the world. So there can be a question on JETRO. Apart from that, it has also mentioned that there's an investment imbalance in Japan and India, because the investments by Japan and India as of end of 2015 were only $14.1 billion, while the investments from India into Japan were worth only $0.074 billion. And if you look at the FDI, the 2015 figures from India to Singapore, FDI, to Japan has been very, very less if you compare to from other countries. And even though there has been an increase in visitors from India to Japan from around 70,000 in 2012 to 1.323 lakh in 2016, but there's immense potential in increasing the trade and tourism sector between those two countries. Now, apart from that, the other business news is that the oil PSU merger may create employee issue. So, if you look at in the budget provision, the finance minister had in his budget speech said that the government sees opportunities to strengthen central public sector enterprises through consolidation, merger and acquisitions. And he specifically spoke about a proposal to create an integrated government-owned oil major in such a manner. So, the merger will be able to save on cost and improve operational efficiency, but it will have political sensitivities that it can limit job cuts and leading to a personal related issues and potential overcapacity, and it can also face significant execution challenges, particularly in terms of managing the integration of employees, addressing overcapacity in the merged entity, and winning the backing for the merger from private shareholders. So basically it will these mergers obviously can save a lot of money for the government, but will have a drastic impact and effect on the employment and the jobs of people who are working in this organization. So there will be an integration problem, and there will be a significant execution problem in going through this merger. Now, BioAsia, so it is an annual flagship event of the Telangana government, has begun in Hyderabad. So it is the 14th edition. So this will touch upon many areas ranging from innovation and R&D, manufacturing, digital healthcare, and around 1,500 delegates from over 50 countries are taking part in this event. And BioAsia basically seeks to enhance and enrich and encourage newer innovations like path-breaking discoveries and effective solutions in the industry by offering a vibrant global platform for basically biotech and biopharma companies, research institutions, investors, service providers. And it is organized by the Department of Industries and Commerce and Government of Telangana. And this event has emerged as a preeminent technology and a biobusiness convention in Asia for life sciences, pharmaceuticals, and healthcare. So they can be just a question, multiple choice question: what is BioAsia, and which state recently organized BioAsia? So interesting page news. So how some plants got a taste for meat. So this information is about the insectivorous plants. So this is a picture plant basically. So scientists have identified the evolutionary pathway that actually led some plants to turn carnivorous. A finding that explains why picture plants from different parts of the world appear strikingly similar, despite having evolved independently. So even though they are strikingly similar in looks, but they have evolved independently due to different genetics. So picture plants actually capture insects by luring them into traps. So they basically lure the insects in this trap, which is a cupped leaf and a waxily slippery interior. So this is waxily slippery interior, and a soup of digestive fluid sits at the bottom of the chambers and break down the flesh and exoskeletons of prey. So there's a liquid, the fluid over here sitting at the bottom of the picture plant. And over time, all the three species from Australia, Asia, and America plant proteins families that originally assisted in self-defense against disease and other stress develop into digestive enzymes. So basically this fluid was originally present in them to protect them from to help them actually as a sort of self-defense mechanism, but then over time it evolved into digestive enzymes to digest these prey and extract out the nourishment for the plant. So by a genetic analysis which included sequencing the entire genome of Cephalotus, the scientists found strong evidence that during their evolution into carnivores, each of the plants used many of the same ancient proteins to create enzymes for digestive prey. So basically these proteins which are present in the fluid that were used as self-defense mechanism were actually being used now to digest the prey. And these enzymes basically include chitinase, which actually breaks down the chitin, which is the major component of the insect's hard exterior exoskeletons, and purple acid phosphatase, which enables the plant to obtain phosphorus, which is important for their growth. So this is it for this video, guys. Till next video, I hope you have a good day. Thank you so much and take care.